Welcome back to Mark Haney, igniting the entrepreneurial revolution with the Haney Biz Project.
Welcome back to the Haney Biz Project, courtesy of Hub International. I'm Mark Haney, and today I am joined by Titan Gilroy, the founder of Titans of CNC and the winner of the Sacramento Innovation Awards. How you doing, Titan?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. I appreciate it. Every time I'm around you, I am inspired, and I am expecting nothing less. Today, you won the Sacramento Innovation Awards, and as they presented your award for advanced manufacturing, you took it upon yourself to kind of grab the mic and tell a heartfelt story. Maybe we could hear some of that today. Take us through time and tell us the Titan Gilroy story.
Well, I think what I actually said when I accepted the award was that it was funny that the Sacramento Business Journal had named me one of the fastest growing companies in the region back in 2007, where we went from zero money, to making $1 million a month in like 3 years. And then '08 hit, I dropped to the bottom, basically went through crazy adversity. So years later, to be back on that stage and all the things that we'd gone through, it was just such an incredible blessing, and it was awesome.
Well, you're back on that stage, getting recognized for innovation and manufacturing. Maybe you can give us an overview of what Titans of CNC is today, and then we'll backtrack in time to get this whole story out.
Yeah, so Titans of CNC is an advanced American manufacturing company where we deal with robotics and CNC automation, and we basically build parts that go to submarines and ROVs that go to the bottom of the ocean, up to Elon Musk's rockets that go to the space station, and everything in between.
Manufacturing,
machining like aluminum, titanium, Inconel, difficult metals, works of art that have to be machined to 10,000ths of an inch, perfect tolerances, and we get it done right here in America, in Rockland, California, right up the street.
And when I walk into your office, I am inspired, right? Our buddy Richard Bachkin, he reminded me, hey, you can eat off the floor in Titan's manufacturing facility, and it's not what you might expect in manufacturing. It's like it's not only clean, it's sort of motivational, really high-tech feeling.
Absolutely. I mean, we're dealing with, $100,000, $500,000 machines, and just like when you walk into SpaceX, you walk in, and it's not a dirty floor, you see 180-foot rockets standing there, right? That's going up into space and stuff. So when it comes to our shop, we're about excellence. We're about perfection. We're about selling that every single day. And basically everything that we make has to be perfect. And that's what I want people to understand right when they walk in.
And you've become not only famous in Sacramento, right, in entrepreneurship, but you have developed a brand, a celebrity brand, if you will. Tell us about that. You've got a TV show. You've got all this different stuff. Give us a sense as to what all that looks like.
Well, I think back in 2008, I was so confident we were making millions of dollars, and then the '08 hit, and who knew that a whole bunch of ships in the Netherlands, that everything got stopped with this contract, would affect me over in California. All my work stopped. Everything came to like nothing. I had to lay off 40 employees over a year, went through the hardest thing ever. But through that turmoil, through those valleys, I learned about American manufacturing. I learned that 50,000 companies had gone out of business. I learned that people could not put their kids through college. They could not pay the rent. They were losing their houses. And later on, when I rebuilt and regained and rehired, my passion wasn't just about making products. It was about solving a problem. So we created a TV show, the only national show on and dedicated to American manufacturing, to pull back the curtains, to show people that you don't have to go to China. You can make parts efficiently at a cheaper price right here in Rockland, California.
Amazing that we can compete with China out of Rockland, and we do that by the advanced machines and the programming that you teach, right? You become famous because you have your TV channel, but you teach people about how to do this work with these sophisticated machines.
Absolutely. So it was funny because I did 2 seasons with the show, and we went to all these amazing companies and we showed people how to manufacture. And I went to all these colleges and I could see that the curriculum, something was missing, right? Because if you teach math or science, there is a standard, but in manufacturing, there's no standard. So when it comes to high-end automation that's changing, there was nothing there. So all of a sudden, the prison system, 35 prisons in California, these guys are trying to rehabilitate our prisoners, they're coming back to prison, recommitting crimes. They basically came to me and said, Titan, can you help us bring CNC machining into the prison system? I thought, what a great chance to bring our TV show in. It's a crazy story. And I built my own school right inside San Quentin prison, built a curriculum. Then we put it up online. And in just 1 year, we have over about 30,000 students. It's free education, teaching engineering and machining.
Well, you're taking the San Quentin story. You're taking people and helping people who are at the toughest times in their life, right? Maybe with zero hope, or lacking a lot of maybe knowledge as to what they're going to do, and you're coming in there and teaching them a high tech skill that. What does that do for them?
Well, let me say this about the prison. What a platform, right? Because you got to understand, like, when you're trying to bring something new to market in business and you have people that they can't comprehend what you're talking about, sometimes you just have to lead by example. And that's what we did at the prison. We taught people who had never been on a computer before. They had never been on a typewriter before. And we taught them engineering, solid modeling, CNC machining, 5-axis. And we did it in a record time where it takes years to do it. We did it in 6 weeks, put it on camera and showed everybody. And you know what happened? Everybody saw that it was possible. I basically flipped education on its head and said, we've been doing everything wrong for so long. Automation is through the roof. Everything's through the roof. So let's not teach like we did 20 years ago. Let's do this. And with the inmates, all of a sudden, they learned a practical skill that they can actually support a family with, make a car payment with, and hope came and they became different men instantly.
So thinking about where your inspiration come from, if we go back in time to you growing up in Hawaii, for that might sound very glamorous to some people, but your story isn't so glamorous. Tell us about your upbringing and what led to you even getting into manufacturing.
Well, that's a long story, Mark, but I'll just say, I had a mother that was abused by a father who was an alcoholic. She escaped literally to Hawaii. Everything fell through when we got there. We ended up on the beach homeless and basically worked our way up. Being the only kid in my neighborhood with white skin, I started getting picked on, right? And just getting beaten down. And I basically grew up fighting, ended up becoming a boxer, ended up going to prison, getting a 16-year prison sentence for throwing one punch, never intending to do something. And I went through this hard life. And at 26 years old, I walked into a CNC machine shop. I came from an island. I knew pineapples. I knew nothing about manufacturing. And that's why I believe in manufacturing so much, because I don't have a college education, but you put me in front of a CNC machine without an education, and because of that aggressiveness on the streets, I put it into a machine, and all of a sudden I'm solving big people's problems, and all of a sudden my pay goes up. I'm able to make the rent. I'm able to do it, right? So what was done as a negative on the streets is now being done as a positive to make billionaires big money, and that makes me valuable. I'm not judged based on what I did. I'm judged on my performance in making a part, and that's what we push right now, that there is part of our society that is not built. These guys are not built to be doctors, bankers, and lawyers. They love to make things in their hands. So let's stop giving work to China. Let's start employing people, and you'll see more marriages survive. You'll see more people not go to prison. You'll see a lot of problems get fixed, and we got to get serious about it.
Well, you took that competitive nature to your job. It happened to be in manufacturing, and you embraced that. You were drawn to that. But I mean, there's so many employees, right? You've got a lot of people working in your company. I've got a lot of people working in my company. Thinking about all the different employers that are out there that have these people that work with them, for them, however we want to put this. You decided at that point to go and commit to that effort there in your employer. And look what happened by committing as an employee, right? You weren't saying, someday, I'm going to jump ship. You gave it all to that employer, and look what happened.
That's it. I gave it all. Like, there would be times where we had jobs that there's no way that we could like finish those jobs. And, I might be making 20, 25 bucks an hour and stuff, but my employer would go home on a Thursday night. I would go home, eat, come back, work all night, come in the morning, the jobs would be done. We'd ship them to Siemens or NASA or whoever we were working for. And that took me on a journey to eventually own my own shop, right? And now, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, I believe that passion breeds passion. So I love the fact that when people walk into my shop and they talk to my guys, they're always like, Titan, your guys are amazing. They're so passionate. These guys are young. They're hungry. And I think that's the name of the game. You got to set the vision and you got to go after it. And no prisoners, man. No regrets, right?
Yeah. Well, thinking about how inspirational that is, it doesn't matter where you're at. I mean, you started at some low places, you get a job, and you just give everything you have. And anything is possible. Anything can happen if you dedicate yourself to something that you love with that kind of passion. So we're going to ask you to stick around and talk about why you won the Innovation Awards. It had to do with your education program, not just the rocket parts that you make for Elon Musk, but how you've developed something in education that is really very revolutionary, and how that affects not only Sacramento and California, but the rest of the country. When we return, we will also be joined by Kevin Kiley. It's going to be a great show. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, courtesy of Greenberg Traurig Law. This is the Haney Biz Project.